We're now going to move on to Keith, which is a great transition because Keith is going to talk to us about his online marketing strategy. Keith, can you tell us a little bit about your club and your scenario and how you addressed your issue of membership?
It's an evolved story, Denise, but we, in October of 2018, 2 years ago, had a meeting with 3 active members. And we decided we were a club in crisis, and the 3 of us sat there and decided what we were going to do. And the first thing we did is decide whether we were going to continue or fold. We made the decision to continue. And with that, we made a commitment to rebuild the club over the next 2 years from the 3 of us. And that was key and vital. We focused on that then. That's what we were going to do. We went through our past and we found that the club had dwindled in numbers from charter strength 8 years earlier to the 3 members. And it was a number of things that had contributed to that. And we weren't going to address them. There was dissension and all that sort of thing. But we decided we'd soar above that and focus only on rebuilding the club. And those are the 2 key things that we did. We sat down and made a list of our strengths and weaknesses. And we're brutally honest with each other and ourselves. And that was the basis of us rebuilding. And from that point on, we set some goals. And the first goal was to focus on rebuilding the club only. We didn't worry about anything else. The second goal was that within 2 years, we'd return the club to charter strength, which we almost achieved. And without COVID, we would have. When COVID arrived, we had 15 members and it had taken us 15 or 18 months to get there. We had another 6 months. We would have done it easily. And so it was a bit of a disappointment with COVID. And what we did was we also set in place a positive atmosphere for learning, and we put in place strategies to do that, which I'll cover later. And the third thing we did is we decided that we'd go back to the core values and the traditional methods, the basics that always worked. And that's what we applied in our club meetings and things from that point on. Now, during that first 6 months, we had a terrible time. We tried all sorts of things that didn't work. We had a speechcraft, which if anything could have been done wrong, we did wrong. So we're going to return to doing that sometime in the future, Maria, and we'll seek advice from you at that. Or Judith, sorry.
Okay.
Yep. But we were including that in our future plans because we think it can work. But we did other things as well. We set up a plan. Now, our strategic plan, the first one was to create an attitude and atmosphere to enable growth within the club. And one of the key things there in that plan, we placed ourselves in the position of having an electronic footprint, a media presence, and that's been vital. We involved all members in pathways, no exceptions. Everybody had to go into it, which they did. We inducted all members into our website and all had to act interactively with the agendas we put on the website. And we encouraged our members to engage with the social media presence we'd created. Now, longer term, or short term, that didn't work so well, but longer term, it's produced visitors every meeting since, except last week. But that's lasted for a year, the presence we created. And we haven't tweaked it in the last 3 or 4 months or since COVID. We just haven't had the resources all the time. But we'll do that again shortly. The second thing we did was we promoted Lance Miller's 3 keys to a successful club. And the first one is the members must own the club. And we promoted that with all new visitors and all guests and everything. The second thing we said is that everybody has to get with the program, which we maintained right throughout the period. And the third thing was that the members have got to promote the club. And we've put in place things to do that. And that worked very well. The third thing, we decided on the club's focus. And we put a tagline in place that over time, we realised what we were and what we were doing. We decided that we were a club with an indomitable spirit and we focused on leadership excellence, and that's our tagline. And a tagline is important because not only does it attract the types of members you want, but it also reminds the members what we've done, which is quite a good history, and we're very proud of what we've done in the past. And then the other thing we decided we had to do, we had to maintain the excellence in the meetings so that the roles were performed properly. and everybody raised their standard, and we did that in a number of ways, which I'll cover. Now, we set in place an apparatus to operate as an electronic club. We have a website that's interactive, and that's key. We use Toast Host, which Pam Holly is the ambassador for. We've found that an excellent tool, and it has a number of things. It involves the club members, and for the VPE, it's a dream. There's no recording of any roles in clubs or anything. It's all done on the website. Everything is there for you at a press of a button. You can see who's done what and where and when. And that's that free Toast Host we found superb. We can also do 3 or 4 agendas in advance, which enables us to plan the speeches. Once you get a few members, for it's not important. So important. We set up and linked to social medias. Now we've done that as a rolling thing over the 12 months and from October of 18, and we appointed the VPPR as a social media manager as well, and she had to keep everything up to date, and that's vital. There's no point having media presence if it's 12 months out of date or your last information is 3 months ago. It's got to be current. And we linked to a couple of things. The first thing that was very, very important was Google Maps. And we used search engine optimization to raise our profile there and get us on the first page of Google Maps for our area. And that produced a lot of visitors. We linked to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Apple, and Google ads. And we did all of those, and we kept a presence there, ongoing. That's all faded in the background now because I don't have the expertise to operate, and we don't have everybody in the club who can. So we're looking for somebody to help us there. And the other thing we did, which is a little bit novel and a little bit unusual, is we linked to businesses that had newsletters. And we found that accountants in your area come on board. If you can talk to the principals, they understand the value of leadership within a business. And if you're focusing on leadership in your club, you'll get them on board straight away. And one of the big spin-offs is that they'll encourage their staff to join your club, and they'll put you on their newsletter to encourage the businesses that deal with them to join their members up. And that was a great source of membership for us. So not only do we get business principals and entrepreneurs, but we got people in those businesses who were key people, which was interesting, and it worked for us over a long period. And the other thing is a little bit controversial, but it worked. We linked to every politician's newsletter in the area, all the local politicians, federal politicians, whatever. We contacted them all and asked if we could contribute something to their monthly newsletters, and they all have them. So we got quite a few people there, but we made it quite clear we have no political discussion in the club, and we don't worry about people's politics. They're there for the purpose of learning leadership and public speaking. And that worked very well for us. And we surprisingly got 1 or 2 advisors from politicians joining us. And they were always interesting people. And that worked. We also linked to other service clubs, and that wasn't quite as successful. Now, the other thing we did, there's a few do's and don'ts that when you're doing this. We also, that was our electronic media that we attacked like that. And there's a few do's and don'ts. You don't ever tell anybody what your target market is. If you tell people that you're targeting entrepreneurs and business people and professionals, you're excluding everybody else, and they won't turn up. And a lot of those entrepreneurs and professionals won't want to join an elitist group. So it's just a bad marketing tactic. Don't tell people who you're targeting. Target everybody. And when people come to the club, don't show any bias. You want everybody to join because it benefits everybody. Now, the other thing we do is we wrote all our copy in the language of the target market. And what we did was we had a woman in the club who was the principal of an accounting firm, and she was a professional, and she wrote all our copy. And we attracted professionals and business people, and we had this whole series of women who were unusual. There was a spiritualist, there was a woman who was a woman's life and love coach, and there was a woman who had a very, very unusual focus in life. And we couldn't understand how that happened, and we found out that the person who wrote the copy also had a great spiritualist side to her nature. So she appealed to all these people as well. And the point I'm making is that the language you use will attract the members you want or don't want. It's just You got to be so careful with your language. If you want a group of public servants, get a public servant to write your copy. If you want executives from business, get them to write your copy. If you want housewives and unemployed people, get them to write your copy. It's up to you to decide that. Your club will decide the membership you want, and that's another important thing, who your target market is going to be.
So Keith, when you had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in your club, how did that reflect in the quality of your meetings?
Well, I was about to address that. The other things we did is one of the first things we did is we said, okay, the president will send him out to attract visitors, and he's got to go to district, division, area, and other clubs. And we contacted people, and we got visitors to come to our club while our numbers were down at 3 and 4.
Good idea.
We never had a meeting under 8 during that period. And when we got people to come, we had some fabulous people who could do fabulous table topics, exceptional evaluations, so that the standard was lifted of the current or the remaining members. I know my standard lifted tremendously through that, and we found that the new members that joined also paid attention to those people, and it was a tremendously positive thing that we did. That was part of the marketing, is to maintain the quality of the excellence in the meetings, and that was excellent. Now, the other things we did hard copy promotion as well as the electronic. And we did the normal things. We made sure that the members invited members or the friends and family. And that's number one focus of Toastmasters. We get a lot of those people coming. We decided on 3 promotions annually in that period, and we had 3 promotions. And that was very, very good for us. So we had the Speechcraft, which was a disaster. We had an open house, which was pretty good. And then we had an art of public speaking night, which was based on what the co-ops did on the North Coast. And that was exceptional. We hit all our electronic and public or hard copy media at that stage. We had ads in the newspapers. We had an editorial in the newspaper. We had post office letterbox drops. We did letterbox drops targeting particular areas. We had posters going everywhere. We distributed 6x4 cards, which Miller swears by, and I found they were very effective. We dropped those at businesses, and we also distributed them throughout the community. We also had, what else did we do?
How did you get on the front page of Google?
You use optimization, search engine optimization. It depends on your area and what other people are doing there, and it's hit and miss. You just experiment with words in your promotion or your ad on the Google Maps, so that we know that in our area, Redlands Club and the Daisy Hill were both on the front page, and we know that creates a great deal of floor traffic through your club. But you've got to really get an expert to help you there, because we didn't have that. We were still on.
Chris is very interested to learn more information about that, so maybe we could hook you up offline so you could talk to him about that.
Jim,
if you were doing all this PR activity while the club had 12, 15 people, would it have been more effective?
We did that from October of last year. With the art of public speaking, we assembled all the elements of it over the 12 months from October 18 to October 19. In October 19, we held the art of public speaking. And that meeting that we had we had 14 visitors to the one meeting. And that came from all the various sources. So it's okay to do promotion, but if you do a comprehensive strategy and put it in place, and then when you do your promotions, focus on putting up ads and things along with your hard copy promotions, your traditional promotion, you'll be very effective and attract a great many people. And that's where we want to get in contact with Kiriana, because we had difficulty converting people. None of us really knew what to do. And the only advice we'd ever be giving is don't ask them to sign, don't ask them to sign. And that was all we ever got. We've found some other things since. We found don't ask them questions at all. And the philosophy or psychology is that they come to the club to find out about us. They don't come there to tell us about them. So we just avoid asking them any questions. We found that's very, very successful. and then they do it at their pace. If they reveal something, then we engage them. But we're very friendly. That was one of the other focuses we had, was very friendly.
Keith, you've been most comprehensive, and I can feel your passion. I can feel your passion for your little club and your home club. We wish
We've now
you
got
all
5
the best.
members.
Yeah. And thank you for all those tips that you've given us. We'll move on now to the next speaker.
Before, very quickly, I have one very quick question for Keith. Keith, you talked about the Art of Public Speaking event, how it was so successful.
Yep.
How long before the event started did you start promoting it to everybody?
1 month. We started our promotion 1 month before the Art of Public Speaking.
All right.
That was a big job, and we did a lot of work in that time. At that stage, we had 8 members or 9 members, so it was well spread. We had different people doing different roles.
Thank you, Keith. We better
Can
keep moving.
I just conclude? Can I just conclude? No. We've now got 5 members. This year after COVID, we lost a lot of members through COVID, and we found the reason why was the Zoom meetings weren't popular and people didn't join us to go to Zoom. So they pretty well left, and we haven't been able to get them back. We went down to 4 members again. We've now got 5, and we're on our way to sign a 6th next meeting. So we're back there. At 6, you've got a real chance of rebuilding. From 4, it's very, very difficult. You face the elephant in the room. When someone comes to the door, they see 4 people, and their first instinct is to run. So we've now got 5, and we will have 6. So we've got a good chance.
Thank you.
Anybody wants any advice, will contact us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.